Hello, music lovers. Today we've got our good boy, Paul Simon, and in one of his most famous tracks, Late in the Evening. I recognize this from the radio, but not the whole thing.
Yeah, Ryman Simon, let's hear him.
He should be the next Dr. Seuss. I love the beat.
Yeah, very Latin.
First thing I remember, I was lying in my bed. I couldn't have been no more than one or two. And I remember there was a radio coming from the room next door. And my mother laughed the way some ladies do. When it's late in the evening and the music seeping through. The next thing I remember, I'm walking down the street. I'm feeling alright. I'm with my boys and with my troops, yeah. And down along the avenue, some guys were shooting pool, and I heard the sound of a cappella groups, yeah. Singing late in the evening, and all the girls out on the stoops, yeah. Then I learned to play some lead guitar. I was underage in this funky bar, and I stepped outside and smoked myself a J. And when I come back to the room, everybody just seemed to move, and I turned my amp up loud and I began to play. And it was late in the evening, and I blew that room away.
He's got a great voice, too.
First thing I remember when you came into my life, I said I'm gonna get that girl no matter what I do. Well, I guess I've been in love before, and once or twice I've been on the floor, but I never loved no one the way that I love you. And it was late in the evening, and all the music seeping through.
My belly looks big in this shirt.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very rotund.
Paul, you've done it again. I've got a soft spot for Paul Simon. I love how during the song I was mostly just focusing on the lyrics. I tend to do that with most of his songs because he's a great storyteller.
Yeah. One of the best, I think. Like, he tells a story in a song, and it's like, I love this song, too, because he's, like, jumping from being a little baby, then to being, like, a young kid, then to being a teenager. Like, each verse is a different part of his life.
Yeah,
And it's, like,
so good.
just like a story of, like, growing up in New York.
Yeah.
You know, so what do you give old Paul? The little man that wore a turkey suit on SNL when he sang, what was it, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover a Slip Slide Away, dressed in full turkey suit.
Yeah. Like I said, I have a soft spot for Simon because I just think he's great. And I love his ability of just able to blend so many instruments in like the greatest way possible. So I'm going to give this an 8.
An 8. That's a great score for this. I'm going to join you on the 8. We're doing this more often. We're joining each other. And you know what? I know what you're saying because I'm listening to it and I'm hearing that Latin beat. Mm-hmm. And it sounds good. And then I hear like the low voice backup singers doing that. Oh, and it reminds me of the Graceland album with the African rhythms.
Yeah.
Like that thing. I was like, oh, I wonder if this is like a little of him enjoying that stuff already because he went on and did a lot of African rhythms on those later albums. But yeah, I wonder if this was like a little taste of it at the beginning. He had that little backup singer African flavor to go with the Latino flavor.
And this was one of his best-selling albums, right? One Trick Pony.
Yeah. Look, so ironic, right?
Yeah.
One trick. This guy's anything but a one-trick pony. He could play like every instrument. He could act. He could, write songs. He could sing. Like he was pretty significant. All right, Paul Simon. Well, it was late in the evening when you realized that music was love,
and we love music.
Thanks, Paul. Bye-bye.
Bye.